What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you a little video guide on how to farm at Cadry, or grind at Cadry, or whatever you like to call it, but you're going to kill the Cadry mobs. This video has been requested actually a few times, believe it or not, for Cadry. I touched base on it a little bit when Caphras Stones first came out, since the elites here can drop Caphras and drop a lot of the ancient magic dust, but I've never really done like here's the rotations, here's what you should do while you're at Cadry in general. And with the upcoming update, although we're not sure when it's coming, Korea did get it, but with the update coming that you can melt some of the Valencia accessories, the Cadry ring prices have tripled. I think they're pretty close to triple at this point. They were a little over 4 mil before, and they never ever sold. There would be thousands on the thing. There's a few. Oh, okay, they dropped a little bit because of the events going on right now. But these were actually getting listed up at like 12.5 mil. Yeah, 12.6 on max, and actually selling at that price as well. The only reason they're coming down a little bit is because of the New Year's events that have been going out, so there's a little bit of an influx in the marketplace right now, and it's also speculation as far as when we're getting this Jonas fragment melting update. But basically, the Cadry ring itself can melt for anywhere from 3 to 5 Yona fragments, so that those can then be turned into a Bazzi belt and make more money, which makes them worth more, basically. It also applies to other Valencia items too that you can melt too, but the Cadrys were obviously really cheap when we first heard about this update. So now this place is actually grindable. It's always been pretty good for Blackstones in general. You get a ton of enhanced Rosar weapons here, so it's always been pretty useful for that. But overall, the mobs are a bit tankier than most places. Gahaz is pretty similar with the Rosar weapon drop, so you have that benefit as well, to make it a little easier, and the mobs are a little easier to kill at bandits as well. So Cadry was never really looked at with, you know, a great place to grind, but I think with the Yona fragment updates coming, plus the drop of the Blackstone rates here, it's pretty decent. So here's what you can get in this spot for drops. So like I said, these Rosar weapons drop. They can also drop enhanced as well, so that they can be extracted for the Blackstones, which is really useful. You can get a ton of Blackstones now that they've changed the update. When you extract anything, it used to be above 7. You would be just RNG how many Blackstones you get. You're now guaranteed, if you get an 8, a 9, or a 10, you're guaranteed 8, 9, 10 or more. So the RNG is only how many more you get from the higher level enhancements. So you're going to see like 12s, 13s, and 14s net you something like 20 to 30 stones sometimes, which is pretty cool. I think I got 32 once off of a 15, if I'm not mistaken. Aside from that, of course, Yona fragments just like anywhere in Valencia for the most part. Caphras Stones can drop, which you talked on. Ancient Spirit Dust can drop here. You have pretty high chance of this dropping, like 90% chance of these dropping off the elites that are here. You also have the BMC Valor, which has recently come down in price, but we'll see if that comes back up in not too long from now. Of course, scrolls, but I will tell you this, odds for scrolls here is very low. The scrolls do not drop here very often. It was nerfed some time ago, last summer, 2018. They nerfed Cadry to specifically drop more Rosar weapons and less scrolls. You can also get these items here, which they combine into making a Cadry ring. You can combine 9 of these to make one of these guys, and then 5 of these makes one of these guys, and then you take one of each and it turns into a Cadry ring. Any of these can drop here. You can get the black piece to drop, which is basically like getting a Cadry drop for the most part, and then just combine them, and then boom, then there's your 10, 12, whatever it's running at mil Cadry ring. Easy peasy. The Serap's necklace only drops off of the elite mobs here. It cannot drop off any other mob. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to get Seraps, you will not get them very often. I have farmed Cadry for many hours, and I've maybe gotten 2 or 3 Seraps in all of those hours, so there's that as well. So next thing I'm going to show you before we look at rotations is just where the node manager is, so that you can grab whatever you need from him. If you need there's a Marnie Stone guy up here, and also the node manager himself has a daily for Caphras Stones. You kill 600 Cadry mobs, and he'll give you a daily for that. So you can go around that way I just showed you there, or you can climb up that little pile of rocks right there, jump up this thing. It's one of the most annoying node managers to get to. Don't ask me why they decided to design it this way. Hop up these 2 little rocks here, climb on up, and you're almost there. Spin around this little diddly, slide down this little hill diddly, zip on through to the edge of this thing. Yeah, it's really annoying. They should just put him at the entrance. It would be like far more sensical. So you got this bro right here. He'll give you a daily. If you haven't done some of there's like a chain quest before you unlock this daily, which is just kill Cadry mobs a few times, and then he'll eventually give you this daily. So you can see you get a lot of extra contribution XP, which is pretty nice. 3 gold bars, some regular XP, skill XP, and then you get a Caphras Stone. And you can repeat this every single day once you get to it. You got your Marnie bro over here. So if you have some, you can see I spent a little time prepping for this video. Let's turn these in. Let's cache up some new Marnie stones here. And then I'm going to run around and show you the rotations. Personally, I only stick to one rotation myself because the others are not nearly as good, and you run out of mobs, especially on this front one. But if you kill a little bit slower, or you're having problems dueling for a spot or whatever, although this is a not very competitive place to duel at all, then maybe you want to stick with one of these. So I'll show you this front rotation. I actually did used to use this when I was really new to the game, and I used to come out to Cadry and have to like spend 5 minutes killing a mob. It's just this giant circle here. What makes it important is that there's 2 elite spawn locations. You can see this guy's up. This one shows up right here, and then the other spot, it doesn't look like he's up, but let me show you before I fight this guy, would be on the other side of the circle right here. So the other guy will spawn right on this spot. So let's go take this dude down real quick since he's up. They have a bunch of knockdown skills, so if your gear is good enough, then you're gonna just not care for the most part. I did not bring any food or anything, that's fine. You're going to not care. If you are lower in gear, then you want to pretty much stay protected when you engage. If you stay mid-ranged on him, depending on what your class is and if that's possible, he won't do this dashing skill at you, so you don't have to worry about that too much. If you come in close, he'll just continuously do knockdowns, so if you, again, stay in most of your protected skills, super armors or frontal guards or whatever, you'll be alright. He does have a guard you can see he uses there, and if you back up too far, I'll try and get him to do it here, he'll do this dash to you, and then follows up with that knockdown right there, and it's got a really wide range. So again, if you have any gear or you've done this before, it's not a big deal at all. They go down, it's no big deal. Stay protected. I don't even stay protected most of the time and just eat a hit if I need to because it doesn't matter. But you are going to want to be aware of that if you're a little bit lower geared and trying to do that. The recommendation for AP for this place is like 140. I do not recommend even attempting this at 140. At least like 180 or so, and even then you're going to find it's not really efficient than most other places for you to grind. It's really until like 200 AP. Once you can one-shot these mobs, I guess it depends on your class a bit too. Once you can one-shot the mobs, it's going to be lucrative for you in the long run. But again, this place was mostly for blackstones. It's only going to become really profitable, or at least decently profitable, once you start seeing the change to the Yono fragments. Anyways, so next rotation, you run around that little circle, and then you kind of dive into some of these mobs if you're killing the circle rotation a little too fast. Then you come back here. We're going to have another elite spawn right up here, and he's also up. There are 7 in total. I'm going to come back and kill them. I just don't want to drag this video out with fighting all these elites. You saw one fight, so I'm not going to have you guys sit through it. So this little like rampy part, you'll see sometimes people will kind of use this as a rotation. This right here is another elite spawn by this little tower. He kind of walks around right here. They'll kind of use this, and then tucked away in this corner you have a set of mobs here as well, so you can kind of use that. Again, it's spread out. It's not like the best at all rotation, but it is decent again if you're lower geared and can't seem to get the main rotation, which is going to be what we're coming up to here. So here you have a couple pathways. This giant circle has 2 elite spawns on either side of the circle, kind of like the last circle we saw. One of them is right here, this spot he'll spawn, and the other one, sometimes he'll walk all the way along this edge because he kind of meanders around, but you'll see him anywhere from like up to this tower or all the way back to this far edge here, and he just walks around. So there's an elite there. So the rotation I like to do personally is what I'll show you here, but there's a little bit of a variant of it as well. You have a pathway off to the left, off to the right, and there's also a little hole over here. So I'll come in here, clear these dudes out real fast. You can hit this middle bro, and they just like blow up everything in the center. Whatever, get through it, kill all your mobs, and then I go down this little pathway. And when I'm coming here, I actually take my horse and set him right here. He'll be safe right here. No mobs will aggro once you've killed any that, you know, follow him initially when you get here. And then you can just leave him here, so that way you can continuously put any extra loot that you have, the trash loot that you get here, you can overstack your horse for it to maintain your weight and grind for a little bit longer than you normally would. So it's these guys right here. They sell for 1,200 each, and of course after like 30 minutes you're going to be overweight depending on what your weight is. Hit F6 on your horse, dump all these on your horse. It'll make him overweight, and you can keep going back to him. The way to put more on him when you go back to him is whatever he has. When you go back to him, let's say I'm at 91% weight or something again, press F6 to open his inventory, pick up all of them that he has on him, so he's empty. Then I'll be way overweight, and then just put all of them once they're all together back onto the horse. It doesn't let you cumulatively add once the horse is overweight as well. Anyways, so I'll leave my horse there. So you have that circle rotation. I run down this area right here, work my way down here, and this takes us to where the last elite spawns. It doesn't look like he's up. I kill these mobs here. The last elite will spawn this spot right here with this group. So that's the 7 of those bad boys, and then I go down here, kill these dudes. It makes a perfect circle. You can see how dense the mobs are here compared to the other areas. A lot more efficient when you're doing this. Kill this group, slide on up here, and this loops right back around to the circle. So depending on your speed, you're definitely going to have these mobs be respawned by then. It's pretty rare that I actually can beat the spawn time on these when I'm actually clearing all those mobs. Alternatively, you do have this pathway back here. The only problem is the gatekeeper, the Cadry gatekeeper, can spawn right here. So you may need to sneak around him or kind of dodge him, which is going to slow down your grind time. But you can see this area is pretty dense with nice groups here. Big AoEs will take these out real fast for you. So you could definitely just use this into your rotation if you wanted. Get back here and kill these. And again, this is going to take us right down to where we were before. That one's not bad. The only reason I just don't even bother with that is because of the gatekeeper. I don't want to like slow down managing that. And you could go back up this circle if you want. You could go down the other way if you want. You could kind of mix it up however you wanted to from there. And then yeah, you just dump your stuff on your horse from all that. Kill the elites whenever they spawn. I really recommend, it's nice to have your own grind spot, and this place might become more popular once that Yona Fragment update is introduced. We're not really sure yet, but until then, I do recommend you can just channel swap and try and catch some of the elites. If you know you got 5 or 6 of the elites or something of the 7 that are up there, then maybe swap channels since you know that they're not going to spawn for a little while. Hop over to another one and maybe you can catch a few more elites and buff up your drops there, maybe even get a Syrups or something like that. So yeah, that's the Cadry rotations and the elite spawns, so hopefully that helps you guys out whenever these Yona Fragment things come out. In the meantime, keep in mind it is speculation as far as when we're going to get them. Nobody really knows when it's going to be released since Korea did just get it, so it's also possible that we see these rings get purchased initially at lower prices and then people may be hoarding them, and as they start realizing they have a bunch of money not liquid anymore, they might start to sell. We're not really sure how that's going to play out, and that could be an effect that's also happening right now alongside the gift boxes that were given out. But these were definitely selling at 12 earlier this morning, so it wasn't insane to think that they'll go back up there again. Personally, I think a settling price, fair price of these, like 10.5 is probably where they'd settle, because if you assume they melt at 3 each, that's where you start kind of hitting the break point of, is making a Bazzi belt worth it? But you kind of factor in an average of 4 since it's 3 to 5, although we don't know that it's necessarily going to work that way. We won't really know for sure until it's implemented, but at least you got that idea planned. So there you go, grind some Cadry, hoard up your Cadry rings, hopefully make a bunch of money off it whenever that Yona Fragment thing comes out, melt them down, get you some Bazzi belts going, and you'll be rich. So that is it. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel to get notifications when we get new videos going live. We do patch note updates, we do beginner guide videos, we do cool stuff like this, just things that I do in everyday playing that I share along with you guys. And we also do some live streaming on the weekends, which is coming up, so if you want to check that out, the Twitch link is in the description below. Just drop a follow over there so you know when we go live. It's pretty much every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday nights and Sunday, like all day long. So even if you're in EU, you should be able to catch a Sunday stream once in a while if you want to check that out. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it or if it helped you out. Maybe check out some Cadry grind and let me know how you guys did. What are you guys seeing for ring drops? How often are you getting them? How are you getting the pieces? Do you find it worth it? And is it taking care of your needs to ever have to buy a Blackstone in your life, since you will have thousands and thousands after spending any amount of time here? That's going to be it for this video. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.